What happens if, you know what, I'll give you the scenario in a second, okay? Here's the question. Is there a chance 3 SEC teams make the playoff? That's the question. My answer is, okay, technically, yes, there's a chance. I do not think there is any path that they, capital T, ever allow this to happen. Now, before we talk specifics, I just want to ask you guys, everyone listening, everyone watching, do you have a fixed opinion on this? I have found that most everyone already does. And you're either in the camp, candidly, like I am, which says they are never letting 3 teams from the same conference in a 14 playoff. Or you're in the other fixed camp. They're looking for every possible reason to let 3 SEC teams in that 14 playoff. I can promise you the latter is not true. I can't promise you the former is true. I'm just telling you I believe in the former. I believe that that committee would find a way. Even if those 3 SEC teams were deserving, they would find a way to push someone else in there. Now, you know my approach. My approach is I don't care about conference affiliation past Conference Championship Saturday. Once we get to the end of the season and the end of Conference Championship Saturday, your conference affiliation ceases to matter to me. And if I'm filling out a playoff field, this is my own model, if I'm filling out the JP playoff field, I'm just taking the 4 most deserving teams based on my criteria. And my criteria values a conference championship. It does not require a conference championship. By that logic, I could take the Chiefs and the Rams. Let's take the Bills. I could take the Chiefs and the Bills and drop them in the ACC, and before the season starts, you would tell me a maximum of one of them is capable of making the playoff because, well, they're both in the same conference, and you have to win a conference championship to make the playoff. Stupid. 2 best teams in the country could reside in the same imaginal geographic boundary that we call conferences in any given year. So I'm just about putting the 4 best in. Sometimes we do it that way, sometimes we don't. But anyway, how does this happen? Now we go back to the scenario. If 3 SEC teams were to make it into the playoff, as best I can tell, and as best the question was asked, Tennessee would beat Alabama this weekend. Then Tennessee would go to Georgia and lose. And then Bama would beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. So all of them have 1 loss. Of course, this requires them not losing any other games. So Tennessee beats Bama, Georgia beats Tennessee, Bama beats Georgia. So you got Bama, 1 loss, SEC champ, they're in, no question asked. Tennessee did not play for the SEC championship in this scenario, but their only loss is to Georgia, who played for the SEC championship. So you could quickly see how that resume test, if it's blind, if it doesn't care what conference you're in, that resume test would really quickly vault all those teams up into consideration. They would probably all in the AP be ranked top 5 or top 6. I don't know where the committee would have them. That's what would have to happen, okay? Now, as that plays out, you would also need some bumper car type stuff to happen in the Pac-12 to where there's no viable candidate. And ditto in the Big 12, no viable candidate. And probably in the ACC, no viable candidate. Because, I mean, the Big Ten's spitting out a playoff team in all likelihood. So I would just be fascinated. You know, if Clemson drops a game somewhere, they don't look like they're going to right now, but if they do drop a game and then they end up winning the ACC, I mean, how would their resume compare to that Tennessee team or that Georgia team? Independent of who the committee would put in, I just wonder how the resume would compare. But here's the other thing that could happen. Not out of the realm of possibility for a team like North Carolina to get in the ACC championship game and just trip Clemson up, and then all of a sudden you're looking around, if you're like me and you've always claimed that the committee's never going to put 3 teams from the same conference in, and you're saying, well, I never banked on there being a lack of other options. I guess they do have to put them in. That's the only way that would occur to me. And that is way outside the realm of probability. But of course, it's a non-zero possibility, so we have to mention it. Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure to leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.